This thing never gets old. Cheers, YouTube. Today, I'm going to take you through the tech stack that I use to run everything that I do. So YouTube channels, LinkedIn, newsletters, websites, photo, video work, you name it. I'm going to show it to you. This is going to be the software side of things, not the hardware side. We'll do that another day. So hit subscribe if you want to catch that video when it drops. Why don't we just start right here? So this video is edited inside of DaVinci Resolve Studio, which is the paid version of DaVinci Resolve. By the way, I was a lifelong Final Cut Pro user, exclusively on the Mac. I still use a Mac, but I switched a few months ago to DaVinci Resolve Studio because they are just absolutely killing the competition. The free version can get you pretty far in DaVinci, but the paid version is really where the action's at. There's a lot of AI-powered tools that save me a whole bunch of time. Like the audio here is just insanely easy to do. Before, I used to have to fiddle around with all the controls to try and get something that is okay. But now I just click on AI Audio Assistant and choose YouTube and hit go, and it ends up sounding like this. It's nuts. And I know I have a good mic, but when I use other mics, it's the exact same story. So DaVinci Resolve Studio. If you don't want to buy DaVinci Resolve Studio, there is the free version. It has some small limitations, but it'll get you started. You could also go and use something like CapCut, or even Canva these days does video editing. Now, once you start editing videos, you might want things like LUTs, transitions, titles, lower thirds. Some of those things might not mean anything to you, but when I show you this, Motion VFX, it might all make sense. So Motion VFX is a small business that works with some of the biggest and the best. They produce plugins and templates and LUT packs for all of the editing platforms, Final Cut, DaVinci, and Premiere Pro. So let's say you make fitness content, you might come here and look at this fitness plugin. All these little graphics and things that you can see here, you will have access to those for your content. You just drag them onto the timeline and off you go. It's super easy to use. What's good about Motion VFX is that they have tutorials on how to use each one of their packs, which is really nice. And the last thing I want to talk about on the video front is music, sound effects, B-roll, AI stuff. So I have used a whole bunch of music suppliers, Epidemic Sound, MusicBed. I do recommend you go try like monthly trials of all these things rather than buying some big annual plan and being tied in. Go try them all for a month to see which one you prefer. I ultimately settled with Artlist. They're really pushing the AI stuff these days, like everybody is. You can see here on their website, they have AI video, AI image, and AI voiceover, which is all incredible stuff. But I mostly use it for music. Cool tunes. They also do some templates and LUTs, a bit like some of the stuff you saw with Motion VFX, but it's less complete compared to Motion VFX. Artlist's music search is very nice. You can download individual stem files, so the individual drums, bass, keys, voice, etc. for each track. You can also find similar songs. You click this little button if you like that song, and it'll search for similar songs to this one, and it's very good. And then if you want B-roll, which I use quite a lot, you can click on footage, and here it all is. And it's the same sort of deal. Like if you want more eyeball shots, you can click similar footage, and it will go find them. It just works. It's really good. Let's talk about websites. I have owned GaryRedell.com for years, and I've used a whole bunch of different website builders on that domain. I've used Squarespace. I've used Dreamweaver to build HTML websites. I've used Framer and everything in between. At the minute on my site, I'm using Squarespace. It's the OG website builder. They've been around for a long time. They keep making improvements, and they have a whole bunch of things that make life easier if you're a solo creator or even if you're a business. Squarespace is a nice platform because it's so easy to use and the support is fantastic. You can see here they don't just do websites, they also have a whole bunch of commerce tools. So you can sell physical products, you can sell digital products, courses, memberships, can all be done through here. You can even do invoicing and scheduling. It's a very, very powerful tool. And it is highly unlikely that Squarespace is going to go out of business anytime soon. So, Squarespace. It isn't super cheap, but it is very powerful, and you can always increase cost as you start to make more revenue. So most of us have probably heard of Squarespace, but a lot of people haven't heard of this little baby. This is Framer. And Framer is amazing. They have an amazing community. They have an amazing set of templates and tools that you can use to get going fast. It's really, really powerful. Sometimes with Squarespace sites, people can tell that it's a Squarespace site. There's a certain look and feel of Squarespace, and it's kind of tricky to make them feel not like Squarespace. Framer is the opposite. Framer's websites are just beautiful, and Framer is very simple to use. You can download the app, you log in, you can just start dragging and dropping elements onto the page, and you sort of build the page visually, kind of like what Squarespace does, but Squarespace doesn't have an app, so it's slightly less responsive. Framer has a dedicated app that you install on your computer, and then you start getting to work. It does work in the browser, but the app is better. Its pricing is pretty good. There is a £8 per month version, which is nice to see. It lets people get started, and then you can quickly ramp up to other levels when you need more features or you hit enough traffic. Now, the last website tool I want to talk about is Webflow. Webflow is the most hands-on out of all the ones that I've mentioned so far. You can break things in Webflow, and Webflow is more for people who have a true understanding of things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It really lets you tinker with the bones of your website. It's very powerful. It's unlikely to go out of business anytime soon. They are always updating with new features, and they are very much here to stay. All of these website platforms have an AI mode. They're okay. I still recommend that you get your hands dirty and do some work yourself or work from a template, because you'll just get the result that you want much faster than you will than using AI. Squarespace is the only one at the minute that does email. So if you want to do email marketing and you want to just do it all in one platform, Squarespace is for you. If you want to sell courses, Squarespace is for you. If you want to sell products, again, Squarespace is for you because it has inventory management and all that stuff. Framer and Webflow will just build the website. They don't have any of that stuff built into them yet. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll add that on. I think maybe Framer is likely to enter that space. Webflow, maybe less so. But you can still integrate things like ConvertKit into Framer and Webflow. So if you want to do email marketing, you can. So don't feel like you can't. It just means you have to go get another separate tool. So it's a whole different logins, a whole different transaction. It's more stress sometimes. We've talked about websites, but you can't build a website if you don't have a design. And there's really only one design tool. Say it with me. Figma. This is Figma. It's beautiful. A good friend of mine, Peter, he works there as a product designer. It's amazing. I use the free tier because I don't need to do any of the really crazy pro teamworky type stuff inside of Figma, but it is very powerful. Figma is used by everybody and their dog. Look, Netflix, New York Times, Atlassian, Zoom, Stripe, me. Everybody is using Figma. If you haven't used it, you go get it, download the app, log in, play around, learn how to design at a very basic level. There's tons of tutorials. The community is super vibrant. You'll love it. Now, Figma is always updating. They added slides, so you can get rid of PowerPoint and you can design all your brand assets and just use them inside of Figma slides. You can also do websites inside of Figma. These things at this stage of the game are pretty early, but Figma looks like it's going to be trying to compete with Framer in that sort of visual builder space. And I've got a funny feeling that Figma might win this battle in the long run just because of what they've built with their overall tool. Framer isn't a design app. It's just a website builder, really. As where Figma is a design app which underpins everything. It underpins websites. It underpins slideshows, all that sort of stuff. So I think Figma is the one to learn for the future. You can get started for free, and it's great. Okay, photo editing. Photo editing is a pretty big deal. If you're publishing content online or if you're making thumbnails for YouTube videos, you will have some sort of image that you want to put there. And I'm sure for this video, my face was on the thumbnail. That thumbnail was edited inside of Adobe Lightroom and then into Figma. Lightroom is the best. I am an Apple guy through and through. I have 100,000 images inside of my Apple photo library. But when I need to edit photographs that really matter, things that we print, family photographs and things for websites, those images go into Lightroom and they get edited in Lightroom. It is just superior in every way to every photo editing app there is. Yes, I hate the fact that I can't just pay Adobe 500 quid and own it. I have to rent it off of them, but it is well worth the cost of it. If you're a photo person or you need photos for what you do, Lightroom is it. It's amazing. And the AI features really, really work. When you need to isolate people from the background just to brighten them, it's literally one click. You want to remove that graffiti, that is just scrub the mouse over, click remove, you're done. There is a mobile app as well, which is very, very powerful. And this is the one that I love, the blurring of the backgrounds. This is an f2.8 lens here, so the background is, a bit blurry, but it's a wide lens, so it's less blurry than, say, this one. In the Lightroom app, I can artificially make that background extra blurry in loads of different ways, and it just looks incredibly realistic, especially around like your hair and all that sort of stuff, like your t-shirt where the edges meet, compared to portrait mode on the iPhone where you try and take a portrait photograph and then edit it in the Photos app. It sucks. It really does. Lightroom nails it. Okay, so that's all the sort of creative stuff, video, photo, websites, design, done. Let's talk about getting that stuff out into the world and all the other things that I use. Hypefury. Now, Hypefury was, as you can see, Build Your X. It's kind of originally branded as a Twitter tool for scheduling Twitter content, but it also works across loads of other platforms. It'll generate Instagram carousels and Instagram posts. It'll do LinkedIn carousels, those images with text in them. It isn't cheap either. I used to use a tool called Publer, but I switched to Hypefury and it is better. So if you want to build your X or your LinkedIn or your Instagram or any of those things, and you want to do it across the board all at once, this is a very powerful tool. It has a whole bunch of features inside it that just makes making content so much easier. You can see post inspirations here, so you can see popular posts from within your sector of things that you talk about. You can then reuse those tweets, modify them, change the format, change the content, etc. You can also mark content as evergreen. So if you write something that is just always true, then you mark it as evergreen, and that will fill up empty slots in your queue if you want, which is nice. Now, if you need to work with clients and you're not just scheduling content for yourself, if you're working with teams and things like that, I would recommend Hootsuite. It has some really nice features that makes client work pretty straightforward, because it can get complicated managing clients and all of their tweets and the calendars. Hootsuite really works. It's been around a long time. I've seen a lot of new platforms come to market, and I've seen some platforms leave the market. Hootsuite isn't going anywhere, I don't think. You could also use Hootsuite in place of Hypefury. You would need to go and look at the pricing. It's a lot more expensive, but it is what it is. Now, if you're crazy for X and you love going there and posting and growing and engaging with a particular audience on X, I can highly recommend blackmagic.so. So this is now by Hypefury. I think they bought it, but it used to be like a standalone thing. It's this little sidebar that gets added to your browser, and it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. We need more of these, because it just makes using this platform, using Twitter, using X, so much easier, so much faster for you to respond to the people that you actually want to respond to. It's a real game changer. So if you're struggling with X growth and you really want to supercharge it, I would highly recommend you look at this. Unfortunately, it's another thing to pay for. You don't get it for free if you're like a Hypefury customer or anything, which I think they should look at, because these products are pretty expensive for the average user. Okay, we got 5 tools left to talk about. Senja for testimonials. I used to use testimonial.to. I've done it manually as well, where you just type in the little box like what the testimonial is from the person. But Senja is a game changer. When they came to market, I got pretty excited. I signed up straight away, and I haven't left. It is, quote, hands down the best testimonial tool on the market. It is, honestly. Let's scroll down the bottom, and you can see here, this is what they would call a wall of love. Filters along the top, so you can filter by different products or different tags, whatever you want. There's video, there's text, you can do highlights. It's amazing. If you need testimonials, go look at the other ones. Go check out testimonial.to, because it might work for you, but I just love Senja. It's really good. Okay, knowledge management. Especially if you work in a team, knowledge management matters. If you're on your own, it doesn't matter too much. But if you haven't heard of this tool, you must have been living under a rock, because Notion is everywhere. They're so popular now, they don't even write Notion anymore on the website. It's just a little N. It works in the browser, it works in the app, it's on mobile phones. You store everything here. I could never explain to you in a few minutes what Notion does. It would take a whole separate video, and maybe I should do that. If you start using it, especially if you're a team, you will find it very hard to leave. That's the one thing I will say, because you'll build this huge, incredible, powerful, linked knowledge base of customer data and product data and wikis and all these things. To leave that is kind of hard because there's a lot to unpick. But I really don't know why you would want to leave. There's nothing else like this on the market. Notion is a bit like Figma. It's the one that you go to. They have their own mail client these days for email. They have a calendar, which they acquired from another company, but it's very good. They have a ton of AI stuff, which is super powerful. It's really, really impressive, actually, because if you go on holidays and you come back a week later, you can ask the AI, what have I missed this week? And it'll just catch you up. It's really, really nice. And as you can see, there is a free tier, so you can get going for free. I use the paid plan because we got some team collaboration stuff going on in there, and we use some of the AI features, which is an extra bolt-on if you want it. You don't have to pay for the AI, which is nice. And inside of Notion, you can actually see other apps like Figma, for example. You could put a Figma link inside of Notion and see the thing. And you know, what started with meeting notes and project templates and all that sort of stuff has now evolved into so much more. They got this new agents thing where it handles tasks for you, which is a massive time saver, and AI meeting notes. Every time I join a call, I get this little blue box pops up saying, would you like to record these meeting notes into Notion? Click yes or say no, and it does it. Speaking of meetings, Cal.com. Cal.com is amazing. I used to pay for a thing called SavvyCal. Then I found Cal.com and I realized, why was I wasting money paying for SavvyCal when Cal.com is the exact same for free? And actually, I think it's better in some ways. You can have this beautiful calendar overlay for free, no credit card required to sign up. You can connect your Google Meet, for example, to this, and your calendar for scheduling conflicts, and you can host a link and book calls for free. You can even run them straight through the Cal.com software rather than Google Meet, which is a very nice solution. It's very pretty. It's really good. If you need to book calls, Cal.com. I don't really know how to say it any other way. It's amazing. Now, when someone does book a call or they fill out a form on your website, you want to capture that somewhere, and that's where a CRM comes in, customer relationship management tool. I use HubSpot. HubSpot is not cheap. There is a free level to it, which is really, really good. You can go really far in the free mode, but eventually you will want to pay for some aspects of it. And HubSpot can get really expensive, like thousands and thousands per month. But you would only do that if you're making the revenue in the first place. But when someone books a call, that all gets added into the CRM as an entry. Those meeting notes get added to the CRM. It really is a catch-all for all of that data. I tried to do this before in Notion. Notion can do it to a degree, but it just isn't as powerful as what HubSpot can do. Now, HubSpot can also build websites. It's incredibly painful and difficult to do. Maybe I just don't understand it, but I just couldn't make it work. They do email marketing. They do social media marketing. It's crazy. They do so many different things. But what I use it for is customer relationship management and just keeping all of that data in one place. Useful. And that brings us to the last piece of software, and that's Google Workspace. Google Workspace is a beast, as we all know. It has so many tools inside it. Email, so Notion Mail, there's your email. Drive for storing files, you could do that in Notion as well. Meet, we just mentioned Cal.com, but you can just do video conferencing here. In fact, Cal.com links with Google Meet. Calendar itself, Chat, Gemini, Docs, spreadsheets, slides. It's got so much in here. And look, Google isn't going anywhere. They will be in business for the foreseeable future. So you're pretty safe putting your money here and putting your knowledge in here. I don't think Notion is going to go out of business anytime soon either. So if your knowledge is in Notion, that's fine. But you could just store everything in Google Drive, in Documents, and then have Gemini as your sort of AI agent to query all of that knowledge. That would work really, really well. Google is pretty much a one-stop shop, and it's nice and simple and clean. You can even sign documents This is a DocuSign killer. I used to use DocuSign, and I tried, I think, PandaDocs as well for a while. I don't even bother anymore. I just do it all inside of Google. It's incredible. It's super easy to use. We use the standard plan, but there is a smaller starter plan. They used to have a free one back in the day, but I think that's gone now, unless it's like hidden somewhere. So there we go, we're finished. That's all the tools that we currently use to do all the things that we do, from photo and video and design and scheduling, websites, all that stuff. We've covered it all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will respond to every one of them. I'll see you in the next one.